Hey, what is going on? What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the show, the Overtime with yours truly, KleinGuy Jon. Welcome to the channel. My name is Jonathan. Again, I go by the name of KleinGuy Jon on my channel. Welcome. If those of you are new to the channel, again, welcome. I can see that the stream is a bit of a struggle right now, but I'm going to push on through. Dibs! Dibs, go get some sleep, buddy. Don't worry, you can watch the playback. I know it's pretty late for some of you overseas. You know, if you are watching, it's cool. You know, you don't gotta watch for long. You can always watch the replay. Anyways, tonight, actually, we're gonna have a pretty serious topic. I'm gonna have a pretty serious talk about what I call the Great Pretenders. But I'm gonna get to that right after the good old intro. Yo, all right, what's going on? Welcome, everybody. It is 9:03 p.m. here in the East Coast in Staten Island, New York. Yes, it's Overtime with KleinGuy Jon, your host here. Again, my name is Jonathan. Welcome to the channel. Oh, man, I got a topic to talk about tonight. And please do chime in if you have had any experiences, what we're about to talk about. And you've seen it on the thumbnail. You see you see the thumbnail, but it's Overtime. I gotta actually adjust that. But you see the title of the thumbnail, right? So let's get to it. But before we get to it, hold on. Why? Yeah, this stream is super slow. Okay, cool. The sound, if you guys can hear me, let me know. I'm still here, and it's 2:04 a.m. I'm here in London. Dibs, you gotta get some sleep, bro. Get some sleep. Anyways, put it up. So tonight's topic is the Great Pretender. But before we get started, let me do a little bit of some editing here because there are some issues here on. I don't know if this still works, but okay. Oh, no, I guess the audio still does work, but let me know if it does not. Let's see here. All right, let's do it. Show is brought to you part by. No. Okay, so before we get started, I'd like to say, if you have any electrical needs that you have, any jobs, big or small, let us know. Call Leader Electric for our service department. Call 212-665-0600. And for large project jobs, call our contracts department and estimates at 212-665-0606. We do residential, commercial, industrial, and electrical contracting. We specialize in troubleshooting, new construction, violations removal, fire alarms and security systems, CHP generator systems, remodeling and renovations, intercoms, and 220-volt services, voice data, audio and video, air conditioning lines / boilers, and motor controls. For all your electrical service needs, call Leader Electric. We are located at 2218 Broadway, Suite 244 in New York, New York, 10024. Sorry, I burped there. If you want any more information, you can contact our offices directly through email contact@leaderelectric.net and visit the website on the World Wide Web at leaderelectric.net. All right. Okay. So, we got that part over with, right? Just so you know, if you see the disclaimer in the description box down below, make sure you read it thoroughly. Remember, I'm not responsible for anything any information I give out that you may use on the job or in the work that you do in your home. Any advice or instructional videos that you've seen, I'm not responsible for. Okay? So please read the disclaimer in the description box down below carefully. And once you do that, I'm going to give you like a few seconds. Also, if you haven't already, you want to subscribe, just subscribe. Right in the subscription button. Also, smash the like button. I'll give you a few seconds to do that. We got to fix this up real quick. Okay. All right, let's get started. Now, see who's in the chat. Dibs is here. What's up, Dibs? I'm still here for 204. The stream seems fine. I'll stay until the stream is settled and working normally. Noticed I did not say working well. Oh, trust me, man. This thing is the bandwidth is just ridiculous. But I'm gonna switch it up. Let me know if the audio and the audio and video are not in sync. Camera 2. Yeah, camera 2. All right. Oh wow. You know what it is? I haven't even shared. I can't even share this link over because I don't have Instagram on my cell phone. I have it on my other phone, and unfortunately, actually, you know what? I screwed up there. I know I'm gonna talk about the topic. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna get this started. Okay, I screwed up. I screwed up. I did leave the phone in the work van. I left the phone in the work van. No. So I got a spare phone in the work van. My phone that I use for social media and stuff like that for work and whatever. Yeah, I forgot about it. And that's a bit of a walk. Let's see. Camera 2 is working well. That not normal. That's not normal. It's working swell. My phone that I use for social media, work and whatever. Oh, but beautiful. I'm just watching. The playback is a little behind. So, anyways, guys, welcome. All right, tonight's topic. Let's get straight into it now. Finally. The Great Pretender. What do I mean by The Great Pretender? Why do I call the title The Great Pretender? Well, as you may have or may not have seen from the last live stream I did during that morning, I explained that the Great Pretender is basically a person or individual who comes into the trade, somehow get tired, right? Somehow get tired, and they claim they've had X amount of experience. Let's say they have like 10 years. And I know you guys are probably getting sick of hearing this, but this is for you guys who are coming up in the electrical trade or just starting in the electrical trade. Maybe you're a new foreman, you just got, upgraded to new foreman, or, hired, or, promoted, whatever the case may be. And now you have to be aware of these so-called great pretenders. What I mean is, these individuals, these certain individuals are those who pretend, or, okay, let's use the word lie. Let's all say it. Lie to get themselves into the company, the job they want, to the position they never really have any experience in, or would claim that they have 10 years experience as being a mechanic in the electrical field, but then come to find out as they're working on the job site with other mechanics who are more experienced than he or she is, turns out their work is sloppy, they're unorganized, and they don't know code. Yeah. And what happens? What happens when they're figured out? What happens when they're figured out? Well, it's when the emotions take place. You know, like anger, aggression, attitude. You know, the notion of what the word I hear mostly is like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I know my stuff. I know what I know. I know what I know. I know what I know." Okay. When you hear that, I know what I know, they don't. All right. Me, I tried that once in the past because I was encouraged to try, and it didn't work out. So I learned not to ever again do that. Um, I'm more honest. If I don't know something, I let you know, and I'd say, hey, I don't have experience in doing this. Do you have? And if they do, if the other person does, I'd like to learn from that individual. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with being honest, and I've said this in the last week's live stream on my way to the city. Um, I thought the Great Pretender was. I thought the Great Pretender was Freddie Mercury. Yeah, it is a song from Freddie Mercury, the great Freddie Mercury, and I use that because I've seen a lot of these great pretenders, guys who just lie in their teeth and say that they're foreman for 5 years, a mechanic for 10, 15, 20. Um, and then it turns out their leadership skills, their workmanship, um, togetherness in a group, it doesn't work out. And it just shows that they don't have it's red flags. There are red flags. Okay, there are red flags you have to look out for. Some may say that, hey, I've been in this trade for 15 years. And if you ask them, well, you ever done commercial? And if they say yeah, and then you put them on a job site, and then suddenly they're doing things that are totally abnormal, or they're just kind of like lost in the sauce. They're sitting there at times, either they're bending conduit with you, and they're just kind of sitting there trying to figure out, like, how do I do a 90? What do I got to do to do it? Or you get those who kind of do know how to bend conduit, but just don't measure an exact 90. And what they would do is, and I've seen this so many times, it's crazy. They'll just bend the pipe, a 90, throw it up against whatever piece they have, or to the area they need to put the 90 into a corner, and they will just like, okay, let me measure this end to the coupling. Okay, I'm gonna mark my cut right here, and also do an offset. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and right there it tells me you don't have the experience. Like, I've seen guys make an offset, or try to do a 90 off a box, and it's 2 feet below the ceiling, and they don't even make an offset before they make the 90. They won't make the box offset before they make the 90. They'll just bend it, measure it. Okay, cut right there, boom, slap it up on on the thing. And there's like, you need a box offset off the box itself to go along the structure of the wall, the surface of the wall. So it looks neat and professionally done. they'll do it. They'll slap in some Mae West straps, or Mineral X straps, as some of you may call it, or pipe strap, and they'll just say, "Well, yeah, look at my work, look at my work," and we're looking at it and we're saying, "Where are the offsets? Where's dude? Like three-point saddles? They literally would go over obstruction with open elbows, elbow 90s, which is fine. But if the foreman's asking you to do a 4-point saddle over an obstruction, a rectangular obstruction, because he wants them like that, we don't have to waste so much, material. You know, do it. I mean, if you don't know how to do it, just ask anybody who knows. I mean, I've come across guys who are good at bending conduit, but aren't good with making certain bends. Especially 4-point or 3-point saddle. Those could be a bit challenging for some. For me it was, but over time I got to learn how to and find little shortcuts here and there to make 3-point, faster 3-point saddle and 4-point saddle and what have you. And there's also, listen, there's also apps. We have phones, we have technology. Sometimes I use a pipe bender app. But nowadays I figure out, okay, if it's a job where it doesn't, like, if I'm by myself or if I'm with someone and I'm running the job and I'm like, okay, we got to bend an offset here and here. Let me measure the depth. Let me measure the length, calculate it, Really cool. Here's a really cool hint for those of you who don't know how to conduit bend. If you're trying to do a 30-degree offset, or let's say if you don't know what degree bend you should use to get over that obstruction, here's a tip. If you have a 4-vial level, you can take that level to that obstruction, and if you want to go 30, let's say you want to try out 30-degree bend, you kind of tilt your level from the corner edge of that obstruction and say, okay, maybe I'll use a 30. Then take your measuring tape and see at that 30 point, where does your first bend measure up to, between what you want to find the points of between the bends, and then you've determined your bend. It's another way to figure out how you want to do it if you want to be exact. I figured that out on my own, and actually that way kind of worked out. It worked out really well. So going back, we get guys who say, like, for instance, I had a guy, I worked on a job. It was me and two individuals. The other individual was like in his late 50s, 56, I believe. And he claimed he was the foreman. He's going to be running the job at the university that I was working at. We're doing a little bit of pipe bending. We're doing like 1/2-inch EMT, doing some watt nodes installs and CTs. And, he just didn't really show leadership as a foreman. He didn't want to take responsibility as a foreman. All he would tell me is like, hey, I'll go to him and say, hey, we need some wire nuts. Hey, we need some connectors. Can you order some? And he'll look at me and say, well, I'm just a worker. And you got your 15 years experience, and you're saying to me you're a worker. Thought you were the foreman. Sure enough, he lost that position. It was handed to me. I led the way. We got a lot of work done. We did a lot of the buildings around the university. And I put him in charge. At one point, I put him in charge of bending 1/2-inch conduit. He didn't know what it was, what size conduit. I told him 1/2-inch. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, put me on. Sure enough, I left him to his own devices with it. Came back. It was just terrible. I mean, I came back because I was another mechanic was in the same room with him at the time while I was in the IT room running low voltage wiring and connecting it to the devices and so forth. So he came back to find me, talk to me, and say, "Hey, John, yeah, I don't think, um, I'm gonna say his name was Pablo, right? It's like I don't think Pablo is doing a really good job with the half-inch EMT, man. His offsets are like they don't look too good. They're a little bit junky." So I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, yeah, come on, come back with me and watch. I think he finished." So we walked back to the electrical room, switchgear room, and I see like he ran his half-inch pretty much where it started from, where I wanted him to run, but his offsets were very like kind of squiggly. It was really weird. Then it came down across to a 90, which was great and all. But I wanted him to run the conduit into the trough. So he did that, but the way he did it didn't make sense. Where he ran the conduit underneath the trough, blocking all the KOs, the the manufacturer's concentric knockouts and stuff. He blocked all of them and 90'd into the end of that trough. And you guys might want to laugh at this because I tell this story sometimes to some of the guys on the job who knew him. He doesn't work for us anymore. And I said, "Hey, Pablo, what happened, man? Like, why does this look like this?" He literally took a step back, looked at me, then looked at the pipe work he did, and said, "Listen, man, I don't do conduit bending all the time." I'm sorry I have to say it, but it just, oh man. So I was just baffled. I was in shock. I was like, "What? Wait, what? You got 15 years. I thought you knew how to bend pipe. Like you claimed you were a foreman, you ran jobs and stuff." Like, he goes, "I don't do conduit bending all the time." So I said, "Okay, no problem. Listen, I didn't finish up in the IT room. Uh, you know how to wire those devices up. You go ahead and finish up. I'll fix all this up. Don't worry about it." So he runs over to the IT room, does what he does whatever he knew what he had to do, and I ended up fixing the pipe. I ended up going into the side end of the the trough, or the gutter, as some will say, or a raceway gutter. Coming into the side because I had a concentric knockout at the end cap. Came in right in there, no problem. Strapped it up properly. Redid his offset that was going over down ceiling, because the ceiling part of the concrete ceiling was like kind of dropped down, so it was partially raised and it partially dropped. So I did the offset there, and sure enough, it looked great. Um, but yeah, that's if you're gonna be Pablo, just at least be honest. At least be honest with what you don't know. Unfortunately, Pablo, I'm gonna use the name Pablo, um, did know how to bend some good 90s. Not bad, some 90s. He wasn't really good at with the 3-point saddles, 4 points, or good enough with offsets. He ended up doing the same exact ish. He ended up doing the same mistake on a job I was at on 42nd Street, where he worked with another mechanic that I actually knew from a previous company that he got the job coming in, and we were working in the basement near the gas room and boiler room, and I was working on a set of 3/4 pipe for some lights in there, and he was working in the gas room with the other mechanic, and um, it was my coworker. He came by and said, "Hey, John, dude, have you ever seen Pablo do pipe work and conduit work?" I was like, "Yeah, he's not really that good." He goes, "Bro, he's making these offsets look real jagged, like messed up." So I'm like, "All right, let me see." And I go into the gas room, look over in the gas room. He's got all the EMT cut up, like all the 10-footers cut in half in pieces. And I'm like, "What the F?" Um, all he had to do was make an offset to a round octagon box where we would mount the light fixture, the LED 4-foot fixtures. Um, he kind of did that, but the box offset was way too tight in, and it was lifting out the octagon box, and Sure enough, our foreman came down and he saw what he did. He said, "Pablo, what is this? Why you got all this conduit cut?" And he told him, "Oh, I'm not, I'm not the same excuse because he wanted to do the conduit, but same excuse at the end. You know, he's like, oh, it's pretty hard to bend these. I'm like, well, like if you're gonna come up with excuses, you gotta come up with a better excuse than bending this conduit is hard. No, it's not hard. It's 3/4 EMT. How hard could it be to bend 90s and offsets? It's baffles me when I hear excuses like that, and it just proves to me proves to you that that individual does not have experience. He's not a foreman. Doesn't have it doesn't seem like he had 15 years experience. More so like he does know how to make his 90s, but from the other mechanic and I think he did a lot of side work and hid stubs, like made stub up 90s and hid them in walls and stuff, and that he was that type of electrician. So we were like, let's yeah, but you don't want to be that guy. Okay, you don't want to be that guy, and if you are, um, your chances are getting caught and be brought out to the light is chances are very high. Um, so try not to don't lie and say you've done commercial. It's just like residential. No, commercial work is not like residential work. Okay, some of it has slightly some similarities, but they're totally different. Um, I mentioned in the last video a certain individual that works with us um, was screwing up jobs, and I never said a name or anything like that. And I said that, yeah, you know who you are, but I suggest, buddy, to really fess up. If you're going to take the role as a foreman, fess up and say you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know, ask, Um, there are a lot of prideful guys who come in, claim who they say they are, want to talk about their experiences and, oh, with the jobs they ran, this and that. But when you prove it to everyone else who's been in the company longer than you have, it shows your true colors. It shows who you really are as a worker. Like it shows your experience level. Um, so just come in and just be honest. You know, um, we've gotten guys who were. I've worked with a guy who's a plumber who didn't. When I was in doing HVAC, a plumber who had no idea how to do air conditioning. He had no experience in air conditioning. And I've worked with guys that were I worked with a guy who was a carpenter at one point. This was years ago. I think it was like my first year with Leader. He was a carpenter, and he did some. He said he had some a couple of years of experience in electrical work, and we just saw his workmanship, and it was just terrible. It was bad. Like the guy couldn't run MC properly. He didn't wire. He used 12-2 wire as 12-3, and it was ridiculous. Like we nearly on a certain job we nearly failed an inspection because of that, or we could have. But you get these guys um, who also bend conduit. You use the conduit bender, and they don't know their take ups. They claim they do, and then when they get a nice perfect 90 and you get it up there between the coupling and the wall, it's not fitting. So obviously they didn't calculate for take up. They just made the bend and that was it. Um, what else? You got guys who, I mean, you got guys who you can literally use a few tricks to find out if they say who they say they are. Um, One coworker of mine told me he did this to a mechanic years ago, that came in and claimed that he was like this mechanic, he was a foreman, blah blah blah, and he was like, yeah, okay, cool, and they were working in a switchgear room, and he was putting up some lights, and the other guy was just kind of just terminating in the panel, and he goes to him and says, hey man, can you do me a favor? Can you go out to the gang box real quick and find a bucket of amps? And he said, sure. What color is the bucket? He said blue. And he went off to go find it. My man said, "Can you find me a bucket of amps?" He said, "Sure." What does a bucket look like? A bucket of amps, yo! You can't make this shit up. Oh man, it still gets me today, man. It still gets me. I remember I tricked one of. Well, I kind of feel bad for doing it. I did it to a friend, a buddy of mine, who I got a job with here, and I told him, "Hey, do me a favor, go in the rigid gang box, and I'm gonna need the wire stretcher." And he said, "Yeah, sure. What does it look like?" I said, "Kind of looks like a cable cutter, but it's all black and it's got some chain and stuff. It's right next to the hammer drill." So he literally went down to go find it. So, oh man, I've kind of felt bad. I was just kind of playing with him, and I said, "Dude, like he brought the foreman up. Foreman got upset with me, and I looked at him and I said, "Hey man, dude, how long we know each other? Like, you should know we went to school together. Like, come on, you know there's no such thing as a wire stretcher." But it turns out, actually, there is something called a wire stretcher. It's for wire fences for farms. But for wire stretchers for electrical, guys think that, wow, it stretches out the solid wire. That's pretty cool, you know. And the first time, oh man, it was funny. It was funny as hell. I was like, dude, you should have known better. Like, you know this joke. Like, why would you do fall for it? You know. But you could root out guys. You could root them out that way. Honestly, it's been a sort of, that's been kind of sort of a trade secret for a while, like fooling uh apprentices and other junior mechanics and thinking like, hey, go get me a bucket of amps and go get me a wire stretcher. If they go looking for it, then that's how you know. Oh boy, that's how you know. So yeah, but still, going back to it, it's not good. Honestly, it doesn't make you look good. It makes you look like a fool. All right, I've been there once, and I never did it again. All right, you learn from it. It's those who are really. I see guys like that who are very cocky. What they think they know, but when you tell them something, like for instance the bucket of amps, and they go look for it, you know, that's it. I mean, you made yourself to everybody around you. So all right, you made yourself out to look like you're not competent. So don't. I get it. I get why the great pretenders want to be pretending to be these foremans, these mechanics, these awesome mechanics that, oh, I do a lot of good conduit bending, I can bend pipe and this and that, and then turns out they can't. And I get why. I get they want to either impress or because they want to get paid more because their last job wasn't paying them more, but they weren't really at that level. They were still like a junior mechanic or still apprentice at the time. Um, it sucks. I get it. The pay sucks. I get it. I get it. You want to get paid more. You want to get compensated more. But you need to understand something. Me, I was humble enough to take what what I believe what I was worth. Okay. When I got out, I left the union. I left the shop, union shop. I kind of still with the union. I still get mail from them about, benefits and stuff like that. But um, when I left the union shop and work non-union, I had to be honest with myself, and I said, they asked me, the company that I was working, well, with leader, they asked me how much I was asking for, and at the time before that, I was making around 18 from the previous company I was working with, which was in between right after I left the union shop, and then I jumped to another company. Then after that, I went to leader, and I told them, well, I'm making 18, but I said to myself, tell you what, to prove that to prove my worth to the company in a sense, I'll prove to you. because she looked as though, yeah, they looked at me as though like they couldn't really pay me, and due to the experiences and stuff. And I said, okay, okay, I'll prove that, yeah, I could make 18. Um, I'll prove to you. Start me off at 15, and then let me know how I do in the next 3 months. Sure enough, I started at 15. Some guys say, why did you do that? You were making 18. Why go down to 15? I needed a job, but I wanted to prove to them that I could. That I literally wanted to prove to them that I'm worth 18 an hour at the time. Did that. 3 months later, I was working service. 3 months later, they gave me the $18 an hour. Well, actually, it was like 2 months later, because they right away started seeing that I was doing really well, improving, and that was it. And then from there on, the trust was there. They learned to trust me. I learned to trust them, and so on and so forth. And I've been with Leader ever since 2016. In 2016, I've been working with them. This year will mark 6 years, I believe. 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Well, actually, no. I take that back. Oh, yeah. That's 60. Yeah, 6 years. I'm counting. Yeah, 6 years. So, 6 years, and still going strong with him. You know, I proved to them, each time if they gave me a certain task to do that no one would take, I would do it, try it out. Uh, I would times make mistakes during that time. When the opportunity is given to me, I take it. But I also let them know, listen, I've never done this before, but I want to see I want to take this opportunity to learn from it. If I make mistakes, I learn from it and I remedy it in the future. And so on. They gave me opportunities. They gave me the opportunity to be a sub foreman, to help run one job, while the foreman was out. I was given the opportunity and I took it. I took it as, as a responsibility, because no one else would take it. I stepped up, you know. So, there are times you're going to make mistakes. Sure, you learn from them. But don't be that great pretender. Don't pretend you are a foreman when you're not. Okay? If you're given the opportunity, and you have to understand, when you're given the opportunity to be a foreman, and deep down you're not ready for that position, then turn it down. Okay? I was given the opportunity to be a project manager. I said, I'm not there yet. I know my limitations. I know I'm not there yet. I'm not going to jump to the opportunity, take it, and then, because I know I'll ruin that. I'll ruin that position. I will be terrible at it. I'm not there yet because I haven't worked alongside with a lot of projects. I mean, I've worked with a few, but not as many. It's all about being humbling yourself, being honest, know your limitations, know your worth. I come to a job and I say, hey, I know I'm worth $20 an hour, but I go to another job and they say, hey, we want to hire you as a foreman. What experience did you are? And I tell them, and I lie to them because they're paying 32 to be a foreman, and I lie to them. I'm only lying to myself. I get the job, then I'm lying to myself because I know now. In my head, I'm thinking, oh man, I'm unprepared for this. Why did I do that? Oh, because of the money. Yes, the money. The money can be very, very tempting. No matter how tempting the money is, don't pretend you're something that you're not. Because it's going to make you look really bad. It's going to make you look really, really bad. All right? If you know deep down you're not foreman level, or you're not sub foreman level, maybe you're lead mechanic, or maybe you're just mechanic or junior mechanic. Just be honest. Be honest with yourself. And I know times are tough, especially now. Times are really tough. It's all about, being humble, man, in this trade. You got to humble yourself and be honest. You know, because you're not honest. You're gonna be jumping from job to job. You're gonna look like a fool in each one. You're gonna be learning things the hard way, and sometimes you may never learn at all, and keep screwing up and keep screwing up to the point where you're just gonna quit the trade and do something else, and you haven't gone anywhere with it. All right. So yeah, just yeah, that's all you gotta do. Like that. All I ask is guys like that who pretend, go around pretending they're this and that. Just be honest, man. It doesn't hurt. Don't be embarrassed. You know, it it is what it is. You know, be honest with yourself. And if you're brave enough to take on a position, go right ahead, take it. But understand that you need to sit with your project manager or your boss and say, hey, listen, you want to push me to become no one's taking the position as the foreman. You want me to be the foreman? Okay, cool. But understand, I've never had an experience as a foreman, so this is my first time. I know there's gonna be mistakes being made, and I'm gonna learn from them. So just kind of be patient with me a little bit. Um, this is something I'm gonna try it out. Just sit with your boss and tell them like, listen, I want to try it out, see how trial run for like a week, see how it goes, and yeah. And if you do great in that first week, and you feel confident enough to take that role, do it. But if you're just screwing up each day, and not getting anywhere within that week, give it to someone else, man. Turn down the position. Go back to being a mechanic. There's nothing wrong with that. I get it. I get it. You want to be paid, this and that, but if you don't know your limitations, you're gonna screw yourself over. You're gonna screw yourself over. All right. All right. So That's what I mean by the great pretender. Someone who pretends to be something that they're not. They could even do a good job and walk around all cocky, chest out, and say, "Yeah, I did that. I did this. I did that." But it doesn't truly prove that you are who you say you are. You still need to prove yourself to all the people around you that you're working with. Okay? You got to understand that in this industry, the person that's paying you is your boss, not you. All right? Those you're working around with have been in the company longer than you have. You got to understand something. They are watching you. They're listening, they're watching, they're seeing every move you're making. All right? So understand, word gets around very fast. And when that weekly review or monthly review comes around, you best be prepared. You best have the confidence in the world that you did a good job and that you are who you say you are. All right? Just saying. All right? Now for me, I'm some of the guys who know me, they'll probably joke around and say, "Oh, John, you're not that." Yeah. They'll just joke around about that. But so the guys who do know me, I work with, I'm not an asshole. Unless you're an asshole to me, listen. I've met guys who were jerks, and I've been jerks back to them, and they wonder, "Well, why are you being a jerk to me?" I said, "Listen, I say it this way. Listen, I'm reflecting back what you're giving me, and if you don't like it, then change that. Change that attitude. Change how you talk to people. You know, because I can one up an individual who doesn't know their shit. I'll do it savagely if I have to, just to prove my point. But no, some people are very prideful. I'm not all that. I'm not. I take pride in my work, but I don't just go around with my chest out and telling people, "Yeah, I did that," and brag about it. You know, if someone asked, "Yo, who did that conduit? It looks really good," I say, "Yeah, I did that." What do you think? You think it's pretty good? Oh, yeah, I think so too. Humble. If I'm working with somebody who's helped me run that conduit, I say, "Oh, I did it," but he helped out too. He helped me out greatly. He did a good job too. He bent some of the pipes that I couldn't bend, or he strapped them up real nice, and we got everything. Look, I compliment the guys I work with, that I work alongside with on those tasks. I don't leave him out. You know, a lot of guys will come around and say, "Yeah, I did that pipe. Oh yeah, he helped. But yeah, I did. No, oh yeah, he helped." Just say, "Hey man, he did a good job too. He did an awesome job. We're like a team. We're great. He works great with me. I work great with him. Compliment each other." I know it sounds cheesy, but when you say that, it shows your leadership. It shows a leader in you, because a leader can also follow his team. You know, it's not always he's got to crack the whip. Once in a while he may have to, but not always. He's gonna want to work with them as well. You know, so that's all it's all about, man. I mean, I've learned over the years how cocky guys are. Even the best electricians can fall on their face. You know, um, because of their cockiness. Um, what's the you know? There's a saying: your confidence could be your weakness. So be very careful about how confident you really are around others, because it can become your weakness. All right. So yeah, that's it. I mean, that's it. Don't be a great pretender. Otherwise, you're gonna fall flat on your face. I'm gonna bust your ass. Drinking some Schweppes ginger ale. Oh man, it sucks. I don't have my other phone. Nobody's watching, but that's okay. You guys can watch the replay. Let me see if I can actually share this. I guess not. I guess not. Oh, you know what we can do? I'll just leave a notification here real quick. We just welcome all the trades, actually. All trades welcome. Okay, post. Post. I'm gonna post that. Man, I'm looking at it right now. Morning service call, episode 1. My first episode of morning service calls. I had to stop doing it for a while because I kept going on projects, guys. I mean, I could probably still do it, but a lot of majority of everyone, you know, watching, they're not gonna. You guys are not gonna go. You guys are not gonna have time to like get up that early and watch the show. Um, and that was the reason why I cut it out, because it was too early. And not a lot of you guys were really watching. I mean, it was way too early for you guys to be watching, anyways. But it's cool. It's cool. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Oh, look at that. Damn. All right. So, trying to see here if. Okay. Oh, we're about to end it. We got 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. In about 5 minutes, actually about 2 minutes, I'm gonna put switch the screen over to this. I'll show you right now. So about 2 minutes before the stream's about to end, we're gonna switch it up to here. Have those last 2 minutes in. So that way we can talk with whatever. Maybe I can come up with a different topic. We can probably, next week's topic is, I gotta think of a next week's topic, because usually I come up with topics every week while I'm on the job site. If I come across a situation or where, I'm doing a job where anything that around me that I can use that involves a trade, I'll definitely put a topic on it. But this topic, the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is the fact that I'm hearing a lot of this, people claiming to be mechanics and foremans, and they're really not. Um, I mean, if it comes out of one person, there's no validity to it. To be honest, if I'm hearing it from one person and not multiple people in the company, then I'm gonna say, okay, well, let's see, give them a chance. Like I don't know. I'm just hearing this from you, but if I hear it from a second person and then another, then I'm gonna be like, holy crap, that's not good. Especially if I haven't worked with the guy yet. All right, so um, if you're one of those individuals that's going around thinking you're a total badass in this trade and you're really not, just remember we are watching you. There are guys watching you and talking about you. All right. It's not cool. I just took in my chair here. It's not a cool thing. It's gonna make you look really bad. It really is. It gets to the boss. I'm surprised I haven't even gotten to my boss yet. Because right now, something like that's going down, and I'm not gonna say who it is. Maybe some of you who do watch my channel, who know me personally, who maybe work with me, probably knows who it is. But we can't say names. I don't like to say names. Um, I only either mention it because I don't mention their names directly. Sorry guys, my eyes are blurry. Holy crap. Okay, and the fact that I don't want to make them feel that they're singled out. In fact, there's actually I think multiple individuals. I'm not saying who, but if they feel, and I can only guess that they feel like people are against them and they can't work with them, understand something. There's a reason. It's not that we don't. It's not because of race or creed or anything like that. It's how you present yourself and how you work around others. Okay. Understand something. You're hired to this company to make the company money, and to help you make money. To show your leadership, because we're looking for leaders. Okay. We're looking for guys who are committed and staying in the company and really, giving them opportunities, man. There's so many opportunities in this company. In any company you go to, there's an opportunity, unless they don't. The boss doesn't want to give you the opportunity because he feels some type of way about you, whatever. But don't think we're coming down on you because we don't like you as a person. It's not that because you don't like as a person. It's how you're leading the charge, how you work. All right. There's a certain standard we go by in this trade, and if we don't see that standard that you're showing below the standard. It's not looking good. There's a reason why they're coming on to you, or they're telling you certain things and saying, "Hey, man, that's not how we do things." Right. There's a reason. Just stop, listen, breathe, ask questions however you can. All right, and I'm getting that blur thing again. I hate that. I hate when I get that blur in my eye. I hate that. Oh my gosh, that is man, that is so disturbing and like annoying too. Okay, all right, I'm back. Sorry about that. um, but yeah, just I think they know who they are. Look, I'm not the enemy. I'm not trying to make you look bad. I'm not saying anyone's name. I'm just saying, just humble yourself and you know, try to work with the guys you work with. They know more than you. They've been in this trade for possibly longer than you have. Um, I've been in this trade now, going now for 9 years. 9 years, 10 years. Make next year, March 8th will be 10 years. So I'm now 9 years in this trade. 10 years will be next year, of course. That'll be pretty cool. Pretty cool milestone for me. Um, as you can see, this trade has benefited me, and it could benefit you if you just and that's it. You know, and ask questions. Ask questions, man. Like seriously, I used to be really nervous asking questions, and I never ask. So there are times where I haven't, and maybe some things will slip by me and say, oh crap, I messed up on this. Boss pointed that out. Shoot, you know what? He's right. I should have asked that question. He's right. Like, you say these things to yourself so that way you learn the next time around, Um, and be honest with your boss, man, because, be honest and say, you know what? I screwed up there. My bad. I didn't know what I was thinking. I didn't think of that. You're right. I gotta be smart. I gotta be on my toes. Um, that won't happen again. And that's it. Move on. Just today I screwed up on the a little bit on the panel upgrade list on the apartments that I was doing for my boss, and but I was like, oh crap, he pointed something out, and I was like, oh crap, okay, yep, I gotta think on my I gotta think before I act on certain things, and now I have to learn from that mistake and improve that the next time around. Um, and that's it, man. You learn from your mistakes, and you become better at it later on. So, anyways, guys, we are going to end the stream soon. Oh gosh, man, wow! I'm actually pulling in till 10 o'clock, right on time, right? So, anyways, guys, listen. I want to just thank me Dibbles. He's also the moderator to the chat. He's an awesome dude. Go check out his channel. I think he has a channel actually. Yeah, he does. Shout out to. I'm gonna give a few shout outs to Electrician U, Dustin Stelzer. He does an awesome videos. Go check him out. He also is doing electrical training courses, so check out his website, man. It's pretty dope. Big shout out, big shout out, and I love this guy. I love this guy's channel, like every day. I mean, he doesn't post as much as he used to, but he's getting some posts out there. He's posting up some content as well once in a while when he can. He's a busy man. I want to big shout out to Donald Miller Electrical Services. I wish I had that sound effect. That'd be pretty cool, right? Shout out also to VCG Construction. As you know, VCG Construction. Vincent Carnelia from VCG Construction does some awesome videos. Go check it out. He does some tool review videos, some live stream tool deals. If you're looking for some great tool deals, some helpful tips on using power tools, and maybe you want to find the right impact driver and the right hammer drill or the right vacuum for that reason, you want to check out these tools and see what's worth buying, go check out VCG Construction, man. They do videos every day. All right, so guys, we gotta go. I gotta get some sleep. All right, so thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you guys next week Sunday. Next week Sunday's Sunday Funday Q&A. So stick around. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Smash the like button if you like the content. And also, make sure after you subscribe, you hit the little bell notification. Put all notifications in. Get notified for all content that I put up. Okay? Alright, so have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. See you guys on Sunday. All right. Have a great night.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.